All right, we just got done claying this car and it's starting to really get some depth of shine on this thing. Really wish you were here so you could feel how slick this thing is. If your paint doesn't feel like oil on glass, you hadn't got it done right. This thing is feeling really, really slick. So now we're ready to polish and in some cases compound the car. If you did have some oxidation, you had some swirl marks, you got some scratches that you're trying to get off, or maybe you're trying to pull off some old wax or sealant that's on there, try to get this down to the base before you put on the OptiCoat, you would have the option with the two-step process, the polish and the compound. So this is the compound. You would put this on with the Optimum wool pad that's a foam back wool pad, okay? Again, that's going to pull out any deep scratches or paint defects. You would follow that up behind the Optimum Hyper Polish. The Hyper Polish we would put on with a finishing pad like what we got here, a waffle finishing pad. Now I really like the waffle pads on this. All these little fingers can get into your shut lines and stuff like that. It'll roll into your wells here, in and around emblems and things of that nature. The other thing is those waffles help pull in more air so that there's more and more cooling effect on it, so we're not building up any heat. And we're going to be using today a Zen Tool. I really like the Zen Tool also because the motor, the way the motor runs is it pulls air through it and through the holes in the pad and forces more air through the pad to get even a more cooling effect. Okay, this is a random orbit, so it does real easily not leave swirl marks. Really easy to handle, very well balanced, and absolutely fantastic machine. Now, because this is a brand new paint job, it's a brand new car, I don't have any paint defects in it, I don't have any swirls or anything like that, so we're going to move over to the intensive polish, which is Optimum's answer for a car just like this. We do still want to put a polish on there, enhance that shine. Any defects that might happen to be there are going to be pulled out. This is going to really make this thing pop and get us down to the bare paint so it's ready for the OptiCoat. In between, this is a liquid, so it's a very measured process to put this on there, and it uses exactly the right amount, designed to do about one door panel. So because we're using a very measured amount, we'd need to use a pad washer in between pads. So we're going to be using the System 3000 pad washer in between each body panel. All right, so we're going to get ready here to set this thing up for polish. It's going to ship with the sprayer for the polish. It's going to have one of these filters on it. Trust me, these things are going to clog up. They don't work with the polish. You want to throw that out before you do it. Now, like I said, it is a liquid. So you do want to make sure that you shake this up pretty good so it's even dispersed on there. The Hyper Polish is designed to run, the intensive polish is designed to run with a wet pad. So we're going to take our pad into the Lake Country pad wash, and we're going to get this thing prepped up and ready to go. So we'll set this right in the middle, and you'll pump it a couple of times, and it'll spray some water up on it. And on a low speed, probably about low speed of 1, we're going to run it. And that'll it squirted some water up in there. We rubbed it out onto the ridges on here, and then we're going to pull it all the way up to 5, and we're going to run it and spray all that water off. So that should be dry just about where we want it to be. All right, so the beauty of this stuff, there's not a lot of thinking on this. We got the one spray of the polish right there in the middle of the pad. We'll do a little bit of running it over here, and probably about 2 to 3 is about all we want to run this on the speed. Now, what we're going to do with this is we're going to run a northeast southwest at a 50% overlap pattern on it. So that means I'm going to pass each way, left to the right, and then up and down with my polishing line running about dead square in the center. That's about all I got to have on that. So when you're running this, that polish is going to just about disappear into the paint. There should be just only a little left. Throw me a drying towel. Yep, just a little bit of residue left on there. And that is going to wipe off just real easily. The other thing that I didn't really mention is about the Zen Tool is it's got a really long throw of about 21 millimeters. So it easily gets up underneath of the mirrors and stuff like that. Does a really good job of getting up in close and into areas. The other thing about the intensive polish is most waxes and polishes you really need to worry about missing the black plastics and stuff like that. This is really different than that because this will actually fantastic to actually clean and polish these. See, I've got a little stain right here, and I can actually use this to polish the black plastic. Now, if you had any kind of oxidation or anything on that black plastic, that is really going to bring that out to a nice shine. And it wipes right off. Now, like we said, in between each body panel, we're going to rewash the pad. Let's bring that camera in here so they can see what this thing looks like when we're doing this. See, when you pump on it, it just sprays some water straight up into the middle of the pad. So I'm going to pop it in there. I'm going to bring us down to 1 on the polisher. Take a look at it, should be fairly clean there. Kick it back up to 5 or 6. And I'm going to run it just inside the pad so it slings all the water out. That's about all I need. And then 1 nice squirt of the intensive polish. And I'm off to the next body panel. Hey, a couple of things I wanted to show you here real quick is maybe demonstrate the 50% pattern overlay. Something else I didn't even cover, just a good little tip. Make sure you always untuck your shirt, cover up that belt buckle so a $50 belt buckle doesn't make a $1,000 scratch. But talking about the 50% northeast southwest, I'm going to show you that real quick. So I'm going back and forth and overlapping the pad pattern by about 50%. All right, so I've gone back and forth. Now we're going to go back and forward and back with it just in a crosshatch pattern. The other thing you notice, this Zen Tool is really easy to control. I can actually do it with one hand. And down here it's got a lock on it, so I can actually lock that and not even have to worry about it. Keeping the cord up and off of the car. The other thing you want to do, and I don't know if the camera's ever going to pick that up, but if I tilt this, the Zen will quit spinning. So you want to make sure that the pad is always spinning, keeping it level, and no weight on the pad. then half the hood, I'm going to go wash my pad, finish up with the rest of the car.